So one of the mistakes that a lot of brand owners, especially new brand owners, make is that they have this idea for a new shirt, hoodie, jacket, whatever it is, and they're so excited, they rush, make the samples, they like the samples, and then they order bulk quantity, and now they have to try to figure out how to sell it, which is like the hardest thing because listen, I hate to break it to you, no matter how special you think your brand is or your brand message is, the fact is clothing is one of the most difficult things to sell, or not just clothing, any kind of like consumer good for the most part. What you should be doing instead, and I know this because I made the mistake of doing it the first way, I learned from that and then pivoted and then started doing it the second way. And the second way is the hype drop method. It's where you actually build up momentum and you build up excitement for your new piece. And the idea is that before you make it, even as you're just thinking about it, you're beginning to involve people in the process. You're talking about it, you're promoting it, whatever your budget allows you to do. Maybe that's just like posting content about it, or maybe you can afford ads or influencer shout outs, any number of ways to try to get the word out there. You're just trying to build momentum and you're telling people, hey, listen, this is something I'm thinking about dropping. If you're interested, join the email list because I'm going to share like a whole bunch of behind the scenes of bringing this thing to life. And it's actually a really good way to validate the idea, because if your product is trashed, then people are going to tell you this is trash. And then that way you don't have to waste a whole lot of money before you go ahead and make all of it. But if it's a good idea, even if it's not fully created, man, people like to see the process and they'll be like, yo, that's dope. Maybe you should do this. Maybe you should do that. Like, absolutely, join the email list. And then you can involve them in that process. And by the time you get to actually launching the product, you actually have an email database of hundreds or thousands of people who have already expressed interest in this thing before you've actually made a bulk of it. So you get the idea, you scheme it out. Maybe you make a sample just to see what it feels like in real life and just to show the people what it'll look like. And you're using a lot of content or as many strategies as you can to try to build that email list. And then once you're ready to drop it, you use something called the hype drop method, which is something I can go into in a later video if that's something that you're interested in. And you use the hype drop method to drop it in such a way that there's already excitement and you're able to maximize your audience. So don't underestimate the power of building up momentum and then leveraging your email list when you're about to drop a new product. And if you want me to go into more detail about what the hype drop method is, then put hype drop in the comments and follow for more.